Join us every Sunday for an episode of the Digital Business Forum
at 2 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. MST, 5 p.m. EST, and 10 p.m. GMT.
This forum will feature successful, experienced digital business owners with inspiring information to help you make that informed decision about starting your own digital business. By starting your own online business, you will have more free time to take control of your life, create generational wealth, retire early, and make money from anywhere in the world.
All right. Hi, everybody. How are you doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching us. If it's your first time to see me, my name is Dorothy from Uganda, currently in the United States, and a proud digital business coach and mom. So today, it's amazing. It's amazing day. So we are having the amazing guest in the house. Later, we will give you a little introduction before we proceed. But let me have David to give us a little introduction about himself before we proceed.
Thank you so much, Dorothy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching us from. My name's David. I'm an advisor on cybersecurity and digital business entrepreneur here in the US. You're welcome to yet another episode of the Digital Business Forum. We do have a special guest, Gracia. Hey, Gracia.
Hi.
From Canada, all the way from Canada. Yes. So sit tight and wait for amazing stuff she's going to share with us. Very excited. If you're watching us for the very first time, we come here every Sunday at 2 p.m. PST, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you're watching from Europe, it's 10 p.m. GMT. So next time you get an opportunity, please join us and enjoy the show. Back to you, Dorothy.
All right. Thank you so much, David, for that introduction. And now it's time to have our guest. Actually, she's going to give us a little bit introduction, and then we can dive in later. The floor is yours. You're welcome, Coach. How are you?
Hi, Dorothy. Hi, David. Thank you for having me. And hi, everybody listening or watching live or catching the replay. Thank you for your time. My name is Gracia, and sometimes I go by Grace, Gracious, depending on how you know me. But yeah, my actual name is Gracia Moke, and I'm originally from Congo, Kinshasa, to be specific. But I currently live in Canada. And I've been living here for over 11 years now, and I work full-time as an electrical engineer. I've been working as an engineer for over 7 years now, and I've been running my digital business for the past 5 years, and I'm a digital business coach, and I think that is one of the reasons I'm here today on this amazing digital business forum. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Wow, thank you so much. What a wonderful introduction. Talk about yourself. Boom, boom, boom. Straight to the point. I love that. So I love that you've been in the business for 5 years. So our audience, everybody who is watching us, or if you're going to catch the replay, just get a pen and a paper and just get a cup of tea, because this is I'm gonna allow me to call you Grace, if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
So we are going to hear from Coach Grace. She has been running her own business, but what I want you to note here is mastering the balance of demanding career and thriving entrepreneurship. So it's all about. So we're gonna understand how she got started in this business, the challenges she overcame as an immigrant woman in tech, at the same time now online digital business, and then what keeps her motivated and consistent. And we will hear what advice she's going to give for women ready to step into leadership and financial independence. So I believe to the introduction I really had, I believe those are the key points. So let me not talk a lot. Today is your day. So if you don't mind, can you actually elaborate on your journey into the digital business world for our audience out there, and what motivated you to enter this field as an electrical engineer?
Okay.
No.
Where do I start? So I will say everything started back in 2019, prior to me joining the business in 2020. Like I always say, I am a firstborn in a family of five. So, of course, coming to Canada, I'm an immigrant. But before coming to Canada, I was in South Africa, because I know some people will be watching and they'll be like, oh, she's from Congo, but she's speaking English so fluently. I had to learn French is my first
English.
language. So, yeah, of course, living in South Africa for 4 years, pretty much. I did electrical engineering over there too. And then in 2014 is when I came to Canada. And of course, getting here, the story of a lot of immigrant. I started from scratch to get my degree. I graduated in 2018, started working. And of course, a year later, as we all know, being an immigrant, all we want, I'll say at least most of us, we want to help our family back home. We want to, be there for them, because especially for someone like me, I came to Canada, it was all my parents paying for the tuition and everything. And I didn't have any bursary or scholarships. So, of course, being done with school, I wanted to give back to the best of my abilities. And that's when I was like, okay, my first younger sister can come. And then she came to Canada, and of course, taking care of everything, paying her tuition as an international student. She couldn't live with me, so I had to pay another rent. So basically, I was paying two rents, taking care of all the expenses and everything. And that's when, even though I was working as an electrical engineer, making a good income, financially became a little bit stressful. And I decided to look for something else. Of course, I was not looking for a business, to be honest, because I always felt like I'm not made to be an entrepreneur or a business person. I'm more like the technical person. I do my calculation and my conception, design, and all of that. That's how I saw myself. So I didn't think like I could succeed on the entrepreneurship side. But of course, being like Sis Dorothy mentioned earlier, being in a demanding career, I didn't want to get like a second or a third job, because I'm like, sometimes I get to work last minute, you have to do overtime because you have this project that needs to get done. And imagine I have a second job now, I have to explain to my second boss why I cannot be in work. I cannot actually come to work. So then I was like, okay, I have to find a way to earn money online. Because I knew people were making money online, but I wasn't quite sure how I can make money online as well. And of course, being the Christian that I am, because it was something that was bothering me, I started praying about it, asking God to show me something, to bring something my way. And then, of course, one day I came across, another immigrant sister talking about how she was earning online. And at first, I didn't even know it was a business. So for me, because I was just interested to, something online, I was like, oh, let me check what it is. And then, and I checked, and the rest is history. And that's how I started my business until now. And of course, my motivation, like I said earlier, has always been family, to be able to help my family, to be able to be there for them, and not feeling like, okay, I cannot do this because, oh my God, I'm looking at my bank account and I'm like, oh God, I cannot do it. So I've always been looking for that flexibility, freedom when it comes to finances. And but of course, getting into this community, seeing what people are achieving, of course, you get additional motivation because you can now see what's possible, right? So that's my story in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, actually, for sharing with us. And I didn't know yet that you're from Congo. Wow.
Yes, I am.
You know Swahili?
No, I don't speak Swahili. No, because Swahili, it's more people like in the east part of Congo. Yeah, I only speak Lingala, which is like the language that is mostly spoken in Congo. Almost everybody understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the language I speak from Congo, and of course the administrative language, which is French. So yeah.
Wow. All right. Thank you so much for sharing. That was I think everybody who is watching us out there, this tells you that a job title doesn't give you the security you need. You know, before we were always telling that, or once you graduate to become a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, you're secure. But I think in today's world, it's not how it works. Things are changing like crazy. So people who are watching us out there, at least you have got a point and work on yourself as the year is ending, right? So thank you so much, Coach, for sharing. Let me hear from David.
Thank you, Dorothy, for the opportunity. Thank you, Gracia. I'm gonna call you Gracia. Dorothy has chosen Grace. Yes. So I'll call you Gracia. Thank you so much for sharing. How, in part of your introduction, the key takeaways, things that I like. You're a firstborn that has taken on the responsibility and obligation to develop your siblings. When you saw an opportunity, you got an opportunity of a lifetime. You said, hey, I'm going to Canada for my education. But you said along the way, I do have other people in the family that could benefit from the same opportunity. What do I do? And you took it upon yourself to extend your hand to bring on your sister. Anybody that comes on as an international student in the US and Canada, it's pretty expensive. So now I can clearly see what drove you, because as an electrical engineer, your profession is good, okay? Engineering pretty much provides some good opportunities here. But the moment you engage educating people or yourself, you gotta pull up your socks, because education here is really costly. So I understand where the need came in, and you say, you know what, I gotta find something out there to to bring in an extra coin, because I have people going to school. And there you are, you said you also had to find accommodation for them separate from where you live. That is a lot of responsibility. Kudos to that. Kudos to all the firstborns out there that are doing that. I'm a secondborn in the family, and I think I know as a firstborn what kind of the weight on your shoulders. You understand? So a lot of people come here and they will talk about their families, nuclear family. I'm here. I have kids. I have a wife. I have people that are looking up to me for
Like immediate family.
For support, immediate family. But I also have maybe extended family. Africa, we do have our fathers, our mothers. We extend to our grandparents as well. The aunties and uncles pretty much take care of themselves, but when the need arises, they still look up to us for that kind of support. So there's responsibility. So that's why I say I like the fact that it's one of the motivating factors that brought you into this. It pushed you to this path where you found this opportunity. Because not everybody has come from that background, who has had the same reason for coming in. And now I see that was quite a push from the responsibilities. The other thing I like is that you're my neighbor from Congo. All right, so that's really exciting as well to hear that more people, ladies and gentlemen, from the African continent, from East Africa, and from all over the world, because this is global business, have looked at this opportunity and embraced it. It's not just for for the Western one, because a lot of people think, some of these digital business are only good for these people in the West. If I don't know how to speak good English, I can't do the business. The people that come up with these kinds of challenges. But guess what? You know why Dorothy was asking you whether you speak Swahili? Because the people that come onto these calls, and they're not very good with English or French, but they speak Swahili. That's an East African language.
Yeah.
And we do have coaches and mentors here that speak Swahili, and they're able to take them through the process. And these people are doing business, you know, and these people are doing business. So again, that's why I said, you know what, it's good that you mentioned that again. You saw an ad or you saw a post.
Yeah.
And that post drove you to make a decision. Of course, you had this desire to make more money because of the responsibilities. But then you saw an ad, and that's where things got tricky for me. I'm asking, yes, because if you're on social media, whoever is watching us, you know, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. As you scroll, 2 posts, an advert. Okay. So who is saying the right thing? Who is saying the right thing? Whose opportunity should we jump onto? And because it's a maze, it can be very tricky. And that brings me to my question. How were you able to identify that this is the opportunity for you? Considering that you're an electrical engineer, you weren't doing online businesses. You were just looking for an opportunity. And you said, okay, if I'm looking for an opportunity, let me go online. There you go. But then again, you listened to a post at Sister or somebody that was talking about a business. And what made you think that you were making the right decision? How did you come to this decision? And how did you, how were you able to say, okay, this is it?
Okay, so I'll say the decision part came later on. I'm going to talk about it. But from the beginning, let me just say, I always say this opportunity came to me because God wanted me to see it, to be honest. And I'm going to explain why.
Right.
Personally, I am the kind of person that I hate reading long posts on social media. And the people who know me, who have seen my ad to this business or even my posts on my page, I am the type of going short. Like I do short posts because it's me. I don't like reading the long posts. Like, I'll read it.
Not only you.
Right.
You know, I will read the first 2 lines and then I'm already tired. Like, I'm like, oh, man, I'll just pass it, right?
Right.
But that specific post that I'm talking to you about, it was those long posts. That is the reason why I'm saying it's something that was meant for me to see, right? And I saw, that was the first thing that I saw. I saw a post. I don't know if it was the first line that was catchy to me or the headline. I can't remember. And then because she was mentioning like she's earning online, I was like, okay. And that was the first thing. The second thing is the fact that I saw somebody who looked like me.
Like you. Right.
Because representation is always important, right? I've seen ads before from different people, right? Different cultures and so on. But it never caught my attention because I'm like, okay, maybe it's something that works only for them, right?
Right.
And then it's when I started the business, fast forward, it's when I started the business, I'm starting to see some of those spaces. I'm like, oh, it was actually the same business. I didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
So to go back to what I was saying, yes, it was that long pause, but I got caught into what she wrote and I read the whole thing.
Right.
Weird.
The
I
long
read the whole thing and I sat down like, okay, I'd like to watch this info session or webinar she's talking about and know more about the opportunity. So that's how I signed up with my email and name. And yeah, so I was like, okay, I'm waiting for them to send me the information. But of course, back then I did not know once you put your name and email, what you see right next, right after it is the info session that you can already watch. I didn't know that.
Right.
So for me, I just put in my name and email and then passed. Oh. So yeah. And, you know, of course, thanks to, email marketing and all of that, that's what got me into watching the
Right.
webinar info session, and of course getting to this point. But now to go back to your question, what actually helped me to know that this was a good opportunity for me was the fact that after I decided to join the opportunity, of course, paid to get access to information, join the community. When I got the information, of course, I explored the information, did my research, and looked at the community closely. And the one thing that stood out to me was the fact that not everybody was mentioning that they are making $100,000s or 50,000s or 5,000s. I could see a mixture of different income rates. I
Right.
can see somebody making 100, another one 500, another one 2,000, 5,000, 100. And those people were from different background.
Right.
I saw professionals like myself. Like I always say, there were two people, not even my current coach, if you're watching, not in a bad way, Of course, my coach was my, that path toward my blessings. But there were two ladies that I saw in this community who were the people who actually motivated me to get started. One lady, I think she was from Neymar or Nepal, I can't remember.
Nepal.
The other lady was from Iran, but she was also, or she still is because she's still working as I think a construction engineer, something like that.
Oh,
Neda.
yeah.
Yes, right. So
Better, right?
I spoke
Yeah.
to these two ladies, and they had completely different story, where you had one lady who is a technical person and the other lady who had no knowledge of English,
Right.
no school background,
Right.
who was a refugee in Canada, but she was making it big in this community. So I had those two profiles in front of me. I'm like, okay, I see here somebody who is not tech at all, but
Right.
she's making it, because I think the first post I saw from that lady, I think she made over 20K. And of course, I saw Ned on the other side, the engineer like myself. Then I'm
Right.
like, okay, you know what? I can see here it's not about like, oh, it's only for tech people or having
Right.
like school background and so on and so forth. Anybody, I guess, who is willing to put in the work, who is motivated enough to change whatever situation they're in, they can succeed in this opportunity. And for me, that was the deciding factor to launch my business and see where it was going to take me. So yeah.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Well, the key element here, you mentioned that you went through the process because there was a process. You saw the post, and again, after sharing your information, email, and everything, more information was provided. I believe with that came the due diligence
Exactly.
that you had to do. Watching to, get to the depth of what the opportunity is, how it works,
Yeah.
what the returns, and how those dynamics that in the key success elements in it. So if that in itself, if you were able to go that far, then definitely you got to where you had to be to make a decision, because the information is there. Where this is different from what other opportunities are out there. Somebody will come online and they'll advertise, or they'll say something about an opportunity, a product or something. And if it's a business opportunity, there are so many where the moment somebody mentions, for instance, drop shipping, they'll talk about how you can move product from here to there, sell products online. But they'll leave you in the jungle to figure it out yourself. There's no mentorship, there's no coaching, there's no help, there's no training. It's pretty much that person, that one individual that's there to either help you on their terms or not, So it can be very troubling starting a business and you don't have that kind of support. Business can sound very good, and we all have different capabilities, and you might look capable for an opportunity, but it makes a difference if you have a support system, mentorship, community. You said you were part of that community where you saw individuals just like you and individuals from other walks of life with less skills. For instance, no, like the person you said didn't have a good understanding or use of or command of the English language, and yet primarily that's the language for trade. And you're wondering, how do these people do the business? But there she was killing it. And you were seeing her performance, and we're like, okay, there must be something here, you know what I mean? Because this person comes with lesser skills than I probably do have, but I also see an engineer here. So pretty much if you've got what it takes, if you're coachable and willing to learn, willing to put in the work, then you can pretty much benefit as well, So thank you for sharing that background. I think you answered my question satisfactorily. I'll give you back to Dorothy. Dorothy.
All right, thank you so much actually for that submission. And thank you, David, for the comment. It's really like make it open to everybody out there. So I'm not gonna add anything on that. But is there, after you going through all that process, now you are on your journey, were there any moments when you felt like you want to give up? And if so, what motivated you keep going on that?
Yeah, definitely. Starting something new, of course, I came into this opportunity. Yes, being, somebody with an engineering background, of course, I'm already used to a few tech stuff, here and there. So technical, if I had to do like something or learn like a new app or something like that, it wasn't really a big deal for me because I'm a curious person. I like learning on my own and understanding things. So that wasn't a problem for me. But I would say my biggest challenge was mindset. First, because I'm a French speaker, I was like, oh man, people are going to hear I have an accent in English.
Right.
And my English is not, even though when people hear me, they're like, English is not your first language? How? I'm like, it's not, But to be honest, everything was just in my head, to be honest. But of course, I would say, aware of the fact that I was different. Like, I'm a French speaker. I had an accent in English. People would hear my accent, and I was scared of how I see people bashing other people online. I'm like, oh man, people are going to start insulting me and all of that, right?
Right.
And also the fact that I was more, or I still am, like a reserved person. I don't really post a lot about myself online or post a lot of stuff online. Prior to this business, I was mostly just logging in. I would just chat with a few people, watch a few things and check and leave. And until now, I always tell people when I do my coaching calls with the people who want to launch their business, I always tell them the wrong idea people have about working online is the fact that they feel like they have to expose everything about themselves, show everything to people, your family, your work, your business, your whatever. No, you don't have to. You choose to show people what you want.
Right.
If you make the choice to show whatever you want to show your whole life, that's your decision. Nobody asks you to do that. And I always tell people, even when you go on my personal profile on Facebook, you're not really going to see a lot about my life.
Right.
Because that's the choice that I made. Not because it's calculated. I'm like, I don't want people to know what I'm doing, who I am.
Right.
It's just who I am. It's just
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, it's just my personality. I'm not the type of posting every single thing I do, all the wins in my business and things like that. I don't really do that. I post a bit here and there, but I don't post everything, right? So just to go back to the question before I can move out of the question, yeah, that was my struggle, the mindset. And of course, when I joined the community, I would say the training was not what it is right now, where right now we have different languages, right? That you can do your training in and even do your ads in. It's up to you, right? The language that you want to choose. Not that I was not understanding English. Of course, at that point I was 2020. So I've been in English environment for like over 9 years. So I was comfortable in English. But of course, I was thinking, all those things, and it was kind of like delaying me a little bit. And on top of that, most people that I was seeing in the community, they were like mothers, married. They want to spend more time with their family, with their kids, with their husband, with their wife. And I was like, I don't have the same reason.
Yes, you don't have the same reason. Right.
Exactly, right? And of course, I always have this young face, and I was like, who's going to take me serious? They want to work with me online. They're like, right. Who is this high school student
talking about business?
But then, the good thing I love about this business is it's not just when you start your business, it's not just about training you on the business side. They also train you on the mindset shift and mindset personal development, right? Because they know, and it's known, if I can put it that way, everything starts in your mindset. When your mindset is down, your mindset is negative, they can give you all the resources in the world. It's not going to take you anywhere because yourself, your mindset is just, I don't know how to put it. So for me, it was that I had to believe in myself and believe that I have something to offer. Yes, of course, I wasn't a mother. I wasn't married. I didn't have kids. But my story was a story of a lot of other immigrants out there who are firstborn, who are the sole breadwinner of their family, who came here as international students and they had to start everything from scratch, but it's still not helping and blah, 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 blah. So I focus on that. Because not everybody is the same. David's story is not Gracia's. Dorothy's story is not Gracia's. You have to find who you are. And the good thing about this business, they help you, guide you on finding who you are. And that will be your niche that you specialize on and run your business under, right? That being said, of course, those were, my moment of doubt. And I was like, yeah, maybe it's just working for other people. Maybe it won't work for me. But then, of course, I had to work on that mindset to get to where I am today. And I even remember the first time I did my live, oh my God, in live, I was like, oh God, I was so stressing. But today I'm just like, in live, okay, I'll just go and talk about what I do, and that's it. So it doesn't flinch like me anymore or scare me to like be here on the live. So all of this is part of, that self development, personal growth as a person and an entrepreneur. So yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. You just spoke that last point where you said about life. I remember mine. I think I was about 10 seconds. I'm like, bye.
10 minutes?
10 seconds. Like, I didn't have words to say, but I know what I'm supposed to do, but I wasn't that person. So anyway, thank you so much for submitting. But I believe it's all about mindset. I love the topic of mindset. And I think mindset is, should I call it a garden? Where you, like what you're planting in your mind is what you're going to sow at the end of the day. So I think it's a garden. So whatever you're planting in your garden, wait for the results. You need to make sure that your results, those seeds, you get those seeds without fear or limitation. But once you start to limit yourself, that's when you're afraid to do some things while others are growing. For you're still in the same place because they planted wisely, right? Whatever they put in their mind every day, it really changed a lot. Thank you so much for that submission, and thank you so much for sharing to our audience out there. So let me hear from David. I see him smiling. I think he has something good for us.
Thank you so much, Dorothy. Yes. For me, I mean, I resonate so well with Gracia's submission on that, because we're all different. We're all different. We're made of different elements. Some people find it easy to be on a mic. Other people find it easy to be in front of a camera. Okay. And it's not every day that you find somebody out of the box. They're out there and the naturals, at it. So it takes a bit of it takes a bit of strength. It takes away something from you to be in front of a camera, But again, what are you going to say? Some people are private in their lives, Things happen to all of us. Some people, it's easy to come out and talk about what their life experience has been, personal life experience has been. And these are very good stories, because we all grow and learn from them and make business decisions sometimes based on these stories, because some are emotional, but you see that people have turned that energy into something wonderful and they've built a business on it. You know what I mean? So it's good. But then you find people like Gracia, people like myself. I look at myself and say, okay, I don't see myself going that route. Okay. It doesn't just sit well with me. I'm not a very public person. But then in these kinds of situations and businesses, again, like you said, I remember the last time I was at a big conference. It was in Southern California. Where was that? San Diego?
San Diego, yeah.
San Diego, yes. In San Diego, there was that 50-year celebration. And there was a speaker, Jay Shetty, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he took us through some exercise that was very interesting. And it was him. He took us through an exercise to figure out who we are, what our strengths are, what our difference, what our strengths, weaknesses are, and to find that middle ground where you can take advantage of that. Some people are introverts, some people are extroverts, but it doesn't mean that it's only the extroverts that are capable of doing things. Introverts have their strengths as well that they can take advantage of and build wonderful things with. You know what I mean? So I think that's close to what you're saying. Some people will come out and tell you a good story, and that will help. Other people will go like, how do I do that? Because everybody that I see that is doing this, they have to come out. And so is this a business for me or not? And we are saying, yes, it's a business for you.
You're not supposed to do life like you guys.
Yes, like, am I supposed to? Yes, there you go. People ask, am I supposed to do lives like you? You guys are always on. Do I have to do that? No, you don't have to. We choose to do this, but you don't have to. Okay? So, because our reason for doing this is to
educate people.
To educate, is to get this story, to get Gracia's story.
Get inspired.
Document it, keep it, and share it with you out there, so that it can help you to find something, because people are looking. But sometimes when they hear a story such as yours or somebody else, they say, wait a minute, these guys the other day brought a lady from Pakistani, then they brought somebody from Libya, then they brought somebody from Canada, I see somebody from Australia. All these guys are doing an online business. So what is failing me? There are people from Congo, from Africa, Uganda, Nigeria, from all over the place. And I'm saying, I think I can do this. So that's why we do what we do. Not necessarily for our own benefit, but also for the benefit of others, that can pick a leaf. So that's why we're here. So don't get confused that because you see us here, this is what you have to do. No, you don't have to. So just wanted to put that disclaimer there. But again, like Dorothy said, there will be people that will think that, do I have to be on camera? Do I have to do exactly what you did? No, you don't have to. You just have to find what strengths are, what your weaknesses are. And like you said, through the training, mindset tuning, these masterminds, you'll find yourself. It might take a while, but you'll finally discover what works for you.
Exactly.
And take advantage of that. So thank you so much, Gracia, for sharing.
Excuse me, just to add on that, my coach, before I became a coach, she can't do any live.
I know. Angie, she cannot. I asked her so many times.
I've not seen her anywhere. I've not seen her anywhere.
Yeah, and she's killing it in the community. But this lady, Coach Angie, let me mention you. I'm reporting you here today.
Yeah.
I remember she told me that, Dorothy, the day they called me for live, I didn't sleep. And to be honest with you,
anxiety.
Yes, and it's like, to be honest with you, I felt like this is not what I went, this is not what I came for. So I decided to do it my way. So you need to make what is convenient, do what is convenient for you. So we decided this because we want to inspire people, and you get informed that it's not like I cannot do it, or me to make money, I need to do it. The thing is, are you coachable? Are you mentable? That is the most important thing. What Coach Grace said is a mindset. That's what you need to work on it, right? So, okay, that's it for me. Back to you, David.
Thank you, Dorothy. Yes, Coach. I do have one here for you. Have you encountered any technical challenges or obstacles in the development or maintenance of your online platforms? And how have you overcome these technical challenges? Because, of course, I know from an engineering background, but in electrical, when you choose to go digital or do online businesses, you're going to encounter a different side of the platforms that people commonly use, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. All these places do have their business suites that are different to work with. And there are also so many other technologies that you'll find for messaging. I mean, when you choose to do online, it means you're going to do business online, messaging, calling, whatever, Zoom, all these platforms here. And people get all sorts of challenges. How have you been able to overcome these things, and what have been these challenges for you? Thank you.
I will say yes, I've encountered like a few tech challenges, but I would say maybe coming from me, it's gonna be a little bit different than someone not like having some tech background.
Right.
For me, some of the challenges were, yes, they were new because, I started using, like I always tell people, social media has like two sides, right? There is the side that most people know, which is the social side. You just connect, you chat, you do videos, right, and blah, blah, blah. And then there is the business side of social media. And that's the side that we use in our digital business. And of course, that side, I did not know what it was all about until I started this business. And the good thing about this opportunity is you're going to get support, and that is the reason why even when we talk about this opportunity, we always say you don't need to have a tech background. Why? Because we have a whole tech team taking care of that technical side for us. Right. So I will say thanks to, that team, of course, for the issues that I couldn't solve myself. Of course, that tech team was there. But I always tell people when issues arise, the first thing is, to try to remain calm. Right. Because like when you're like panicking, like, oh, my God, what do I do now?
Yeah,
And,
like
And I understand that can be like the first response, because you're like, oh my god, something new, I haven't done this and now I'm having these issues, blah blah blah. And of course, I would say yes, I had issues, but thanks to the tech team, I didn't have to figure out everything on my own. The
Right.
tech team was there to support me through it all. And of course, our tech team, they also work with some other developers that can also step in to help. So that's how I was able to solve like the few issues I've had. The one thing I'll say, like, for people to just just bear in mind, when you studying something online, just to make sure to have like authentication, because in today's world people are trying like to take kind of like control of your accounts. And of course, all those information are in our training. We are very aware of it. So, just to make sure that you do that. But yeah, like I said, I didn't have like any issue where I can say like, oh my God, I couldn't find a solution to it.
Right.
Because if I couldn't fix it myself, I could always go to the tech team or ask other people in the community. The community is big. So yeah, the support is always there, if I can put it that way. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. So you had it. There is tech support. Find yourself a system or a business that will give you something more than just platforms to work with, but some kind of support system. Okay. So if you're interested in finding out more about these kinds of businesses we're talking about, from wherever you're watching us, go into the description. You'll find a website. Click on it, okay, and book yourself an information section. An information session with your name and email. You should be able to unlock some videos to explain to you the detail of how these whole systems work, and then we can move in from there and have a chat with you and see how we can guide you so you can take advantage of what we're talking about, these businesses. But to check off your boxes, I was saying that it's key to find something that gives you more than just what you hear, but there's a bit of coaching. And I'm talking about somebody to hold your hand to make sure that you're successful. Technical support, because these are digital businesses. Sometimes you need that helping hand. Even if you think you're tech savvy, there'll be issues, trust me, that are going to require somebody ahead of you to point you in the right direction. Okay, there's training. Okay. Not every opportunity out there will give you some business fundamentals and training on how to use systems, but find yourself an opportunity, have that checklist, and make sure that you're checking off these. Community support, that's another one. It's key. So these key success elements to look out for. So thank you very much, Gracia. I would like to bring in Dorothy. Dorothy, do you have any comments to add on to that before we can move on?
That was self-explanatory. Nothing I can add on a tech side. So I was one of the victims. So I've been hearing that several times. So I'm not going to add on that. But we have some comments. Let me see how Coach can help us answer. Somebody's asking here, Isaac Kalema is saying, do you really make the money? How could you answer this person?
Of course, we do make the money. Like I always tell people, it's not like, because sometimes I know like people have been seeing a lot of our other, business partners doing their ad online where people are showing checks and things like that, right? I've seen comments people are like, oh yeah, are those even real checks? Like, are you really making the money and so on, right? People are different. Like for me, my ads, I don't really show a lot of checks, to be honest, because that's how I choose to do my ad, right? So not everybody shows like, the money or the amount that they make. But some people feel comfortable doing that, then they are free to do that. And if you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel comfortable, right? So I'm not here just to boast, if I can put it that way, but myself, I can talk about my own story. If I can just give a little bit of like a summary. When I started this business, of course, in my head, I was like, okay, if I can make a 500, 1,000, as a supplement income, I'll be happy,
Right.
Just to give you just a quick overview, I think back in 2023, I was able to pay over $12,000 in debt in 1 month.
Right. That's good.
Right. So if I can just give a little overview, and I'm still here in 2025.
Right.
So that means something is here, right? But this kind of like forum or lives that we do or sessions, it's not to boast about the income. It's more about educating people on what's possible in the online space, right? Because if we are here, all we do is like talk about money. Oh, Dorothy's like, oh yeah, I made 100K, and David is like, yeah, I made 50K, and I made 20K.
Yeah.
I don't.
It
For me, it's like
doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Like it's like we are losing the purpose of what this forum is all about, right? It's not about boasting. It's not all about like showing like, oh, look at me, I'm making the money. No, it's more about educating people about what's possible in today's world in digital space. Then, of course, if you choose to come in and get more information, of course, Dorothy or David or myself will be happy to actually show you the results, right? Because I always tell people, maybe let me just touch on this a little bit. Even maybe the person who's asking that question, I'm pretty sure you're working somewhere. You're not going to tell me you go on your profile and say, hey, this is my paycheck. I made $2,000 or $5,000. You don't do that. Why, when it comes to business, people feel like we have to show it, like
right,
how much I'm making. It's the same thing, to be honest. It is a paycheck as well, but I'm earning that paycheck from my business. The same way, if you have work, you're earning the paycheck from your employer, right? I always feel like people need to understand, like when it comes to, oh, how much are you making? Are you really making the money and blah, blah, blah. It's a little bit on the confidential side. Not everybody feels comfortable to come online and tell you, hey, this is what I'm making in my business. No. But if you get closer, you go into that next step of getting the information. Of course, Coach Dorothy, David here, myself, will be more than happy to show you closely, okay, this is what I made this month. This is what I made last month. This is what I've made for the past, for the last 3 months and stuff like that. But just join this forum, of course, we're not going to come here and say like, oh,
flaunting money. Right.
So, yeah, of course, we're making the money, because if it wasn't that, we wouldn't be here talking about this opportunity. And for myself, I've been doing it for 5 years now. And, I'm not going to be here talking about something for 5 years if it was not giving me results. Right. So.
Right.
Wow.
There you go.
Well, thank you so much. That is self-explanatory. So, Isaac Kalema, I believe you answered. Now I have one more question here. Is for Rob, watching on Instagram, says that why you always selling the register people instead of telling people what you sell? Register people. I think we're off topic there. I don't know exactly what Rob you're meaning. And he asked later, what do you sell? And then that was the following question. What answer could you give such a person? It's in the comment section. Rob, hope you're hearing, so you're gonna be answered, but I didn't understand where you said selling register people. I don't know what exactly we are selling.
I think when Rob is talking about registering, I think Rob is referring to the fact that we tell people, okay, if you want to know more, go to the website to register your name and email, and take it from there, right?
Okay.
Okay. And then he asked later, like, what do we sell? So me personally, I don't know. People are different, but for me, when I talk to people, I always trying to use like, the everyday life example, right? If I can answer this question, let me put it this way. I don't know if Rob is watching, but let's say you wake up one day and you're like, oh my God, I have a headache. This headache is not leaving me and my head is heavy and blah, blah, blah. You try to take like, I don't know where Rob is located, but oh my God, sorry guys.
It's fine.
Dying. I didn't know. Okay.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So, like I was saying,
You said he's watching.
Okay, great. Right. So, you are like, oh my God, this headache is not leaving me, and of course, let's say you have a member of your family who is also aware of that headache, and that person is like, Rob, you've been, trying to complain or complaining about this headache. Why can't you go to the hospital and get checked out?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, so Rob, are you going to say, why are you sending me to the hospital? No, like I always like talking to people in terms of like real life example, right?
Right.
Because when I use real life example, people can kind of like find themselves, they can be like, oh, it kind of makes sense, right? Why do you have to go to hospital? Because there should be a doctor who is going to have your file saying like, okay, on this date, Rob came, he was complaining about a headache that was not going away and blah, blah, blah. These are the medication I provided to Rob, blah, 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 blah. Why? Because you should have some file in the system and a doctor taking care of you. It's the same thing here. A lot of people are seeing this opportunity. Why? I'll say even Rob yourself, you're watching this. Probably you have something that you want to change in your life. That something is like your headache.
Right.
And when we are telling you like, okay, you want to learn more about this opportunity, come check it out. Register your name and email and watch the info session. It's like that family member telling you go see a doctor. It's the exact same thing. You cannot jump from having a headache and going to a doctor, be like, okay, just give me this, I'm going to be fine. It does not work like that. You go see a doctor, you follow the process, and then you get to that point where they give you the medication that can basically help you heal that headache. It's the same thing here, And
you need to understand the process and
exactly.
and what exactly you're treating. Because some people will just come and talk about an opportunity, but they're not really cut out to do it. We're not all cut out to do
for jobs. Some people don't.
People are looking for jobs. They will see this opportunity and think it's the job.
Information session, you get your information.
Exactly.
You get where you are.
Yeah.
But you are not telling what you're selling. Okay, Bob.
Okay. So I was of course answering the first question, right?
Explaining. So
okay. So the next question.
Relax, Bob.
The next question. I always tell people, because one mindset like a lot of people have is when they see business, you're selling something.
Exactly.
That's the mindset. But people need to understand that when it comes to business, you have different types of business. And among those online or digital business, you have an e-commerce. E-commerce, when you hear commerce, everything when you hear commerce, it can be whatever commerce, blah, blah. You are selling. That's what commerce is all about. You are selling something.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not every business that is an e-commerce where something is being sold to anybody. Right? Now, this digital business here, what we do is we are here selling something to somebody. No. We advertise about how somebody can go about creating an online franchise with a system that has already been set up to walk you through and help you set up that online franchise and be successful. That's what we do here. We are not here to sell, dreams or sell product to anybody or sell whatever. That is the reason why we always tell people, go through the process. Watch the info session. because it gives you the detail about this opportunity. And the info session is free. I don't always understand why people complain about the info session. It's free. You go in there, you watch. If you don't like it, be our guests. Go about your way. Find another opportunity that might be matching what you're looking for. And if you find something in there that's matching what you're looking for, then you continue. All right. So I hope that answers Rob's question.
All right. Bob, hope we answered you. Thank you so much, Coach. I like that. So hope you got your answer. If you did not still pick the answer, just go and search about what a franchise business is. Then you will definitely have your point. If not, just type in your name and email address, go to the description, you'll find a link, type in your name and email address, get that info session explaining for you, and then you can take it from there. However, you need to like for this opportunity, I should say that it's for anybody who is willing to change their lives, because once you go to the information session, you are looking for something. And what are you looking for? How am I going to change my life? How can I escape this paycheck? How can I stop bosses to breathe under my neck? I'm looking to build generational wealth. If you're, you need to go with the reason on that information session. Don't just go there because they told you to register and watch. No, watch with a reason. Once you have the reason as to why you're watching that info session, trust me, you will get your answer, because that's what you're looking for. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So that is it. Thank you so much, Bob, for those questions. And Khalil and Isaac, we love your comments. Let's keep our lives engaging like for today. And let's have this for last one. Oh my God, it's 1 hour. We need to leave our coach to go, right? But let's just have can you share any valuable lessons or insight you have gained from your experience as an online digital business owner, and what advice can you give our people out there?
A lot of learnings, I would say, and still learning on a daily basis. But I would say the most important thing is to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. We cannot say that enough. I know some people can say oh, but I don't know this. I've never done it. The same way I always tell people, nobody is born a nurse or a cyber security advisor like David or an engineer like myself. Nobody is born like that. Okay. One day we're like, oh yeah, I think I can do engineering. Then you go to school. You are trained on how to become an engineer. You are trained on how to become an advisor in cybersecurity, right? You learn that in school. Of course, even when you learn in school, when you go to work, now you have to do the practical side of whatever you learned, right? And you're not gonna tell me oh, you went to school for 4 years and then afterward you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I can be no. We basically take action and believe in ourselves. Okay, I've been trained. I think I can do it. Let me try and see how it goes. Right. So the same thing I always tell people. Yes, when you hear digital business, you hear online marketing, you hear online business, you're like, oh my God, I've never done that. I've never been online and blah, blah, blah. But the most important question you have to ask yourself is, are you willing to learn? Because that's the most important question. It's not always about, oh, I've never done it before. That's normal. None of us has done this before, but we ask ourselves, are we willing to learn? And that's how we got started. The same thing I always tell people, if there are immigrants out there, especially for the ones coming to Canada, who did not hear Canada is cold? We all heard that, but still we're like, yeah, we're going. They said a lot of opportunities there. Right? Why? Is it because you already knew what Canada was all about? No, it was based on what other people were saying, the people who are maybe already in Canada. Oh, there are opportunities here, and blah, 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 and blah, blah. You're like, okay, I can go there too and trying to find myself. The exact same thing happens here too. We understand, you've never done this before, but do you believe in yourself? Do you think that you have what it takes as long as they teach you what to do, how to do it, you can apply your knowledge. And of course, you're going to have the support of a whole community, of a mentor and a coach who are going to be there to hold your hand and do that work with you, right? Or assist you into whatever that you're doing. So for me, yes, I would say it's that, believe in myself, and also the patience, right? Because of course you're starting something, and I always tell people there will be a learning phase where you have to learn what you need to do, in order for you to start getting those results. But most of the time, people trying to jump the learning phase, they just want to get to the result immediately. And it doesn't work like that. So yeah, I would say patience is also one of the things that I learned. And when it comes to valuable stuff, and I'll say just the growth. The person I was in 2020 and the person I am today are like two different people. And I've learned a lot of skills in this community as well. A lot of things I wasn't aware of before joining this business. Today, the skills I even learned, I can even make even more money from it, right? Because now I know how to do marketing online, something I did not know before. And I can definitely even work as an online marketer if I wanted to, and make money out of it. So it's valuable skills that I learned in this community that I didn't know before, right? So yeah, in a nutshell, that's what I can say. Yeah.
And just to piggyback on your very first point, Gracia, you mentioned, you said that people out there, or whoever is listening to us, you should believe in yourself. I think that's really key, because part of our limiting factors are us thinking that we are not good enough for an opportunity, or we are not there yet to be able to do what other people are doing. Earlier on, you mentioned the point on accents. You know what I learned when I came to the US? Everybody has an accent. Do you know why? Because everybody comes from somewhere. If go out anywhere here in the US, everybody comes from somewhere. Either they're from Mexico, or they're from the Caribbean, or they're from Europe, or
Even
they're from
Canada.
Africa, or Canada. Everybody has an accent. So I don't have to sound American to be able to speak to you, to understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't have to sound Ugandan, but I can actually choose to sound Ugandan because that's my default. So by you understanding who you are and believing in yourself, that's all you need. Then you're good to go, because we've also interviewed people here on this forum that don't have very fluent English, but we've had a wonderful conversation with them. Do you know why? Because they can express in a bit of what they know of the language, and there they are, they're sharing their story. And people are like, wonderful. I've people are learning. So what does that tell you? They're doing business, and nobody says you have to sound a certain way if you're going to be doing a business. So just to piggyback on that first element, on that first point of believing in yourself, I think it's a mindset thing, but people have to know that you don't have to sound like anybody. Sound like you.
Exactly.
Sound like you and do you. That's it.
Yeah, because that's part of who you are. Like your accent is you.
Your accent is you, and that's what makes you special. And somebody wants to deal with you, Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Oh my God, Rob. Rob is saying, Kalema. Oh, is it like, I don't know, Kalema. We don't have Kalema here. I'm not Kalema though. I don't know if you're talking to me. Please be open. I don't know. We tried our best to be open with you. I don't know what exactly, but to wind up this for you, this is a franchise digital business in health and wellness with a business model where you don't have to look for customers, but they come to you through the business model. We all know when we talk about a franchise, we have traditional, for example, like Starbucks, McDonald's, where you need to be physically in a place for you to make money. And then for the digital, you are leveraging on digital technologies and online platforms. Okay, for more information, go to the description link, watch the information session. At least we try to wind up for you so that you can get it. Okay, all right. I think that is it for today. Thank you so much, Coach, for coming. We've stretched you almost 1 hour and 10 minutes. And for those who have been in the comment section, thank you so much. I don't know whether we are going to go through all these comments, but at least for those who have questions, visit you can go to the website in the bio or in the description. Just watch that 20 minutes info session, or next time we will start from there. And okay, I'm gonna put just one there for Coach. Somebody's asking you a question there. So right now you live in jobs, you're working in digital business. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that, but I didn't understand that question.
Yeah, I don't know even me. Sorry. Yeah.
But
so
maybe,
my dear friend,
maybe I can look at, I don't know, Puffin. I don't know if you see Puffin. Is it on YouTube? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Yes.
Yeah. He's saying, hey, Coach, that sounds like wanting success is enough to succeed in my life. Experience, it takes skills and strategy that you aren't explaining exactly what makes your mentee stand out besides desire. Of course, the desire is the fuel that you need to change something.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have that desire. That desire, I'm not going to be putting it in you. David is not going to put it in you, or Dorothy. It should be coming from you first. But like we said here, I don't know when Puffin joined, but we said it here, nobody amongst the three of us knew anything about digital business. We went through a training, a step-by-step training that showed us what to do and how to do it. And of course, you're going to have help of a mentor, a coach, and a community of over 260K people to assist you as well, right? So when you're saying yes, skills, strategy, yes, definitely. But you can learn skills. You can develop strategies, right? And that's what we teach in this business here, because nobody starts as an expert. We all learn and we get to the point where we are today. So I hope that helps.
All right. Okay, I think that's it. So please, guys, allow us to go, and let's meet next Sunday, 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time. I think this is the guest we've ever stretched. Guys, in the comment section, you've stretched our guest today. Please allow us to go, and let's meet next time, I believe. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Join us every Sunday for an episode of the Digital Business Forum
at 2 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. MST, 5 p.m. EST, and 10 p.m. GMT.
This forum will feature successful, experienced digital business owners with inspiring information to help you make that informed decision about starting your own digital business. By starting your own online business, you will have more free time to take control of your life, create generational wealth, retire early, and make money from anywhere in the world with just your laptop, phone, and internet. If this resonates with you, don't miss this Sunday. Digital Business Forum. Be informed, be inspired.